Well, I guess if you look at it's an expensive deck, but if you have all these cards, you're getting your value because most of these are old cards. I don't think there's anything
Yeah,
new in here, right? This is just every time something
not at all.
happens, they're like, oh, they're going through their shoebox of cards, trying to figure out what they're going to combine to keep the deck alive. Hey everybody, what's up? Circus here coming at you with this week's power rankings video. And as you can see by the thumbnail, things did not go well for decks that were not Desperado this week.
Yeah, that's been somewhat of a difference from what we've seen as of late. A lot of other strategies were doing really well, but not the case this week, it seems.
Yeah, so let's kind of get into it here. So if you're new to the series, what we do here is we track decks as they are played in tournaments throughout the week, and then we assign them points based on how they finish. Okay, so if they get a first place finish, they get 6 points. A second place finish is 4 points. A top four is 2 points, and a top eight is a single point. Now the tournaments need to have something in common so that we can compare and contrast the finishes. All right, so they all need to be rounds of Swiss into a top 32 or a top cut, I guess. A one deck format with a 7 card side where you can side in a skill. Now the tournaments, even though we missed a couple this week, there was still
Yep.
9 of them. So here you go. Is the Battle Phase series we missed? What did we miss? We missed Tuesday, right?
Tuesday, and does it look like we had one on? Yeah, just Tuesday.
Just
Yeah.
Tuesday, but we did do Damage Step. That was our big one.
Yes.
That was our big one.
Yeah.
So we missed Battle
And
Phase EU. That's what it was. Mythyard
yes, we did.
was gallivanting across Russia, I believe. And that's not even
Yes,
a
he
joke.
was. He was enjoying himself. And if you would like guaranteed entry to the Battle Phase tournaments that you see here, be sure to subscribe on Twitch or become a channel member on YouTube. You get guaranteed entry to all Battle Phase events.
And Giraffe Biweekly this time, fully reported.
Oh man,
Overall
Mood Trapper coming
representation,
through.
top
Good
32.
job.
Yeah, I was so happy. So
Oh
every
man, thank you.
full representation this week. So there you go. All right, let's get into it though. I guess you guys could probably guess already which deck won, but look by how much.
Oof. And we have not seen a margin like that in a while. 22 points.
Yeah, I'm sorry, everything's gonna be a little small because I wanted to fit it all onto one screen because I'm
Mhm.
tired of making 2 graphics for one screen. So get your glasses out.
Just get him on.
Yeah, get them
All
on. There
right.
you go. But there you go. Desperado. Look at Noble Knights. You're going to be surprised when you see the representation. Noble
Right.
Knights with only 27 points, and we'll get into them, but they were heavily represented in Damage Step, which was our pay to enter tournament. The
Mhm.
top four, they were like 3 of the 4. So
Yeah, I want to say that Noble Knights recently, they've seen a huge uptick because, of course, we had the new box leaks. The new box came out, so I do want to dive into them,
yeah,
especially deep. But Desperado on the week,
look,
22 points ahead of Noble Knights. We're gonna have to see how many tournaments they won in just a sec.
we're gonna have to see
Yeah.
how this pans out over the next week. Now that Noble Knights have their support, which is just a game changer for them.
But some of these other decks that we're
Look at
seeing
third
play,
place. Look at third
falling
place.
Thunder Dragons, yeah,
Thunder
a lot of these other
Dragons.
decks, Invoke Neos, Goki, Ritual Beast, Blackwings, Magnets,
Valkyries.
where
How can you
are
skip
they?
Valkyries? They
I know,
won
but
a tournament.
I'm saying those decks were
Yeah.
way up. They were getting those points that Desperado just sucked up this week, and they're
Yeah,
gone.
yeah.
And yes, Valkyries did win Battle Phase Friday. That is absolutely insane.
Yeah,
We'll
most of
talk
the
about
other
that in
stuff
the
got
rogue
like
decks.
most of the other stuff just got like 1 or 2 like eight, top 8 finishes, couple top 8s or a top 4 or something. Yeah. All right, let's just get in the Desperado. You're going to just look at all these top 8 finishes. It was like 13 of them or something like that. So, but 5 tournament victories.
Yeah, 5 tournament victories
That's
is
crazy.
absolutely ridiculous. I can tell you, Battle Phase Rising Sun, the Desperado player was extremely lucky and opened. Well, I shouldn't say lucky, They, of course, they flipped cards, but opened very well. The deck was very consistent. Was always able
Mhm.
to make huge use of the head judging. Head judging is such a powerful card, and it is a continuous trap. So people, they do not Cosmic Cyclone it. That was a major misplay in the finals. Cosmic Cyclone was used blindly instead of used to negate the head judging effect. So be sure
Okay.
head judging is absolutely massive against most, if not all, decks. Taking control of your monster allows for most decks to just not be able to do anything after that. 149 representation on the week. Desperado still maintaining a so-so conversion rate at 9% with a deck of this participation that is pretty good. And then not much has changed for the Desperado deck since its inception. I don't think it's had to do much adapting at all.
No, none. I guess it's
Yeah.
just frustrating to play against because it's coins, right? Because it's not like you're getting outplayed; you're just getting outcoined. That's the
Yeah.
horrible part.
Now, something that I will say that a lot of these, you will notice that a lot of Desperado's wins were before the ban list. There are, I believe, three of, not the ban list, the new box.
Right.
So three or I believe four of the tournament wins here were before the new box. And we'll talk about it when we get to Noble Knights. Damage Step was a huge tournament
Yeah.
for Noble Knights, and we'll get into why in just a moment. But Desperado still doing everything it needs to very well. We're going to get into some of the things that are making it weaker when we talk about Noble Knights. So,
Well,
yeah.
let's get right into Noble Knights then.
Yeah, so
Um,
Noble Knights.
yeah, this is an updated list. This is
Mhm.
Mythyard from Damage Step. So this does
Right.
have the Palinor and King Custom.
Yeah,
So
so the King Custom Xyz monster is really so good for Noble Knights. It gives them a form of removal that doesn't involve destruction, which means that Desperado will not be able to flow as cleanly into their other monsters. You can now bounce them. Instead, they won't be able to get more coin flip monsters from being sent to the graveyard as well. So it just allows you to get more resources while just limiting another way that Desperado
yeah, and this is
can.
definitely.
Solid deck.
I
What's
was gonna
up?
say this deck. It's really strong. People are gonna start complaining about it, saying it's like a Desperado style deck, but it just loses so hard if they have to go second and you interrupt them like immediately. You know,
Yeah.
they can definitely be disrupted. And like they summon out their Madrat, you karma cut it. Well, I guess my turn's over because they don't really have a way to recover because everything revolves around getting the equip spells out, getting the boars on the field, getting that trap set.
Yeah, you can play the long game with a 30 card balance deck. That's probably the deck that it is the easiest because
Hmm.
if you open any of your removal traps, any dead cards in your hand, you can discard them. Monsters, you can use them as bodies. So you actually have a lot of follow through if you don't open up optimally. But of course, getting Karma Cut It is still absolutely brutal.
Which is
And
what we saw in the Damage Step finals.
mhm,
Mythyard wins, I believe, was with a karma cut in game 3 on turn 2. It was
yeah,
nasty.
and Pelennor is just good for
Yeah.
chance removal. You can special summon it with the trap
Hmm.
if as long as you don't have another one in the grave because you only play one, or you can special summon it with the Madra if you want its effect like that. So being able to have access to a removal like that is very good as well. So Noble Knights, I think this week are there. I think they're going to win a lot more tournaments, probably because now their Desperado matchup is a lot better. So,
Yeah.
but look out because Noble Knights now they're gonna have the spotlight on him. Cussinen is probably one of the best extra deck monsters out right now, Xyz wise. So
Well, there's so
yeah,
much floating in this deck. So much floating. So it's really hard to like pin them down and beat them, because Custonin can float into the rank 5. The rank 5 floats into another defensive measure if you need it to, you know.
yeah. Now I feel like it's a very important to be a lot more careful of where the noble arms are because Cussinen is a monster that does not require noble arms for
Right.
his effect to be activated, but he also doesn't pull them out of the graveyard. So if you have a way to get rid of him, and then on the special summon of another monster, if you can remove them too, then their equips are going to be permanently in the grave. They're not going to have a way to get them back. So you just have to be careful of how you disrupt Noble Knights.
It's just too
It's
bad
custom.
because this deck, I've been having a lot of fun playing it since it came out, whatever, a month ago or whatever it was. But now it's gonna be
Mhm.
the most hated deck, and I'm gonna still want to play it. And they're gonna be like, Circus, come on now, you playing Noble Knights?
That's how it goes, man. This is how
I
it should
know.
be, man. Noble Knights is great, and I'm glad that this is the new box support is actually getting played, and this is the best performing one so far. So congrats to Mythiard. He'll probably have a video on the channel soon about his tournament run.
And if you guys don't know, Mythiard does Battle Phase EU for us on Wednesdays.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to point out his custom, and one of them is prismatic. That's why he won.
Nice.
Plain and simple. All right, third place. This is where I just sit back because I don't care. Thunder Dragons. This deck is everywhere now. Huge resurgence into the meta.
Yeah, huge resurgence into the meta. Like you say, they can make use of Gristrons, like we see in the best performing list here. Top 4, Electric Soldier, Porygon from the meta Freakly. 46 participation, that is just about normal for Thunder Dragons, but 17% conversion rate. They had a very good week. In damage step specifically, Max K, I remember he was making use of Xyz monsters, Gaia and Ptolemy M7 specifically. I'm not sure how effective they were for him, but those are just 2 more options for you now. But it looks like the Crystron version did come out on top this week.
And is that a Watt monster in the deck there? Is that like
yeah, I think it's like What Fox.
Okay.
Yeah, I forget what he does, but yeah.
He's important. He's in there.
This list does not play Levineer.
Yeah, I saw that. I was looking for that.
Wonder if that was to its benefit or not. This deck definitely synchros
I was
very
gonna say
easily.
it's probably more synchro
With Crystron Quan, you can synchro with any monster in the hand with it on the field. So that's absolutely insane. You can synchro with high level effect monsters. That's probably how he was able to Vermilion, Samurai, stuff like that. Yeah, just regular Thunder Dragons, nothing too special here.
I'm trying to get Gian to get me into the secret Thunder Dragon Discord, but he won't let me in.
Now, well, I wonder what he thinks the most viable list is, because I imagine that each of these performing lists were different. This one seems pretty niche.
Yeah. Well, it also got it was 4 top 4s. It's just this one looked cool, so I thought I'd show it. All right, the next one. There you go. Invoked Neos, 4th place with 9 points. Did win the Meta Freakly Sunday.
Yeah, Invoked Neos falling off a lot.
But at this point, it's just putting on more rings. It's like the Yankees, you know what I mean? It's like we got 22 or 23 of these things or whatever. That's what they're doing here.
Yeah, I think Invoked Neos' biggest problem is that it doesn't. It falls apart too heavily, and your monster engine is too easily interrupted. The Alistair engine, I mean, and then all you're left with are traps. Of course, you slow your opponent down with traps, but you're not going to win the game without having access to Alistair. And straight up, I think that people are starting to see now that the limits are really starting to hurt the consistency of the deck versus now we have 30 card balanced Noble Knights, which are going to be able to exceed someone and bounce you on your turn. Desperado, which are going to be able to set up 2 monsters and a negate and a coin flip on the first turn. Invoke Neos is not really doing that. They're setting up traps, and their monster game is not really advancing past Fire Reload and Neos Fusion. It's a lot harder to draw into Alistair now, and I think that's the main problem this deck's dealing with.
Well, if you look at, I guess Desperado plays, specific traps. It does play the Karmika, it plays Super Team and all that. But like Thunder Dragons, Noble Knights, they don't play a lot of traps. I guess Noble Knights does, but they don't see them a lot. Yeah. Whereas Thunder Dragons really doesn't. I guess I'm getting to the point where it's really cool to see monster effects causing the game to happen. You're comboing with your monsters. Whereas a deck like this is just like, I'm gonna stall, I'm gonna sit on my traps, and I'm not gonna let you play. And it just seems like a very ancient play style at this point.
It's a reactive strategy,
right?
And it's now a lot of the new things that are coming to the game, like you benefit from making all these plays on turn 1. With Desperado, you benefit from Cup of Ace, discard for Machine of Fortress, search for Misjudge or Twin Barrel, and you set cards like you play. With Alistair, you don't really get ahead because you want to not play, so your monster effects don't really get going.
Yeah, I guess there is some draw power in the deck, but the other ones just seem like they combo so much better. You're drawing cards, you're doing things. This is common opening play for this is set 3 pass, and it's just like, oh come on, man, I want to play the game, because each one of those back rows is going to just be completely disruptive, and it's like, I get it, those cards are necessary, but do you have to play like 9 of them in your deck?
Yeah, it's it's just not enough for this deck to perform consistently. Its representation is still up there. 93 is no laughing matter, so people are still playing the deck, but 3% conversion rate is ridiculous for this
Yeah.
deck. It was up there with Desperado at 9 and 10% every week. So the strategy for Invoked Neos is definitely the cracks are showing.
Well, I guess if you look at it's an expensive deck, but if you have all these cards, you're getting your value because most of these are old cards. I don't think there's anything
Yeah,
new in here, right? This is just every time
not
something
at all.
happens, they're like, they're going through their shoebox of cards, trying to figure out what they're gonna combine to keep the deck alive. Because what's the newest card in there? I don't even know.
Diamond Direwolf.
Well, besides that, I mean, Winda.
Yeah, that's
I'm not even sure.
a Ballista Squad,
Ballista
actually.
Squad or yeah, something like that. Yeah. All right. Well, talking about one degenerate back row strategy, we'll talk about another here. Gokis,
Gokis, they have
get
not
them out
seen
of
the top,
here.
haven't seen the top 5 in a while, and they come in here and 20 people play the deck this week, and 4 of them topped. 20%. I think they take the cake actually for the week
Yeah,
with
that's
that.
pretty good, right?
Yeah, and yeah, I don't really know what was happening differently this week for Gokis. All I have to say is really they are not they don't really fall victim to a lot of the newer side deck options that people are playing in their decks, like Necro Valley, like DD Crow, you know, graveyard effects Goki don't care about.
Well, a lot
And
of the decks aren't playing any kind of back row hate. They're either
yeah.
got something built in or they're just playing through it. So you don't
Mhm.
see a lot of Cosmic Cycle. And so when someone plays a Necro Valley, it's like, oh crap, how am I gonna play through that? I hope I have a Ballista Squad or something.
Yeah, and Goki does have the means to deal with a board pretty efficiently through brute force or through removal. So yeah, good to see him back.
Well, they're only in fifth place because Desperado, like you said, sucked up all the points this week.
Yeah, they did.
Because after you
From
get,
from Invoke Neo specifically.
well, yeah, I mean, as soon as you get past first and second place, it drops down to like 13 points for Thunder Dragons. So I mean, there's a dramatic drop off. I mean, it only got Gokis here only got 4 top 8 finishes. So that's how
Mm.
much the top 2 decks just sucked up the points, and I bet that's what we're gonna see this week or next week or whatever you want to
Yeah, I
call
think
it.
we're
So
gonna see it go back and forth between Noble Knights and Desperado until
yeah,
like
till Blue Eyes comes out.
yeah, in 9 days.
Yep. So at least another week. All right. Overall representation this week. Look at Noble Knights.
Uh,
I don't know when that uptick was. I wasn't paying close enough attention, but I wonder if it was after the new box or just in
I do
general.
think a lot of people were playing them the week before the new
Like
box.
warming
Like
up,
there were,
learning the deck.
yeah, there definitely was a huge uptick. I saw a massive amount of Noble Knights in
Mm-hmm.
tournaments, like just checking decks before the new box. And I'm sure a lot of it was after the new box as well. But again, remember we only had the new box in effect for 2 days on the power rankings.
Right.
So, yeah.
Look at Witchcrafters, though, fifth place with 43. Now, I'm not even sure they scored any points. Well, they did with Neg. He scored
There
Meta
was a lot
Weekly. He got
more.
top 4 Meta Weekly.
Yeah, there was a lot more Witchcrafters this week too, and
Yeah.
no points from them.
A lot of these decks up here. Obviously, these all got some kind of points, but just representation wise, they didn't score a whole lot. So,
Mm.
all right, conversion rates this week. Remember, you have to have your deck represented 20 times in a week
Goki.
to make this list. But look at Goki. Yep, number 1. Thunder Dragons, Blackwings. What's up? Blue Eyes, 3%. Ouch.
Whoa! Yikes!
Got beat by Fire Kings and Cyber Dragons.
Oh, that is not good. They're gonna. I don't know. I don't know about Blue Eyes, man. I honestly think we're gonna need a lot more than
Then what's coming
than
out? All right.
yeah.
People are on the hype train for that right now. They're just like, Blue Eyes, here we go, baby. You're gonna see it everywhere on the ladder. That's all I'm gonna. That's my
true.
prediction. The ladder is gonna be lousy with Blue Eyes. It's gonna be like when Ancient Gears came out.
Oh, please don't remind me.
All right, top 8 finishes this week. Desperado with 13, Noble Knights with 13. Big difference
Hey,
in the
we're
points
tied.
there.
Yeah, those 5 tournament wins just see
Yep.
how much they matter in the power rankings.
But if you look, most of the decks on there from 13th place down, so 7, 8 decks, one top 8 finish. So, all right, and the most victories this week. What do you expect? Desperado with 5, and the rest, everybody else gets 1. But look at Valkyries down there. Woo!
Yeah, man. We'll tune in to Rodex tomorrow. We're
Yeah,
going to talk about Valkyries.
Valkyries are definitely going to be in there. So let's take a look at the main list one more time, and then we'll get out of here. There's your power ranking. Sorry, they're so small. There was so many decks, but I didn't want to do it on
It's okay.
two different slides.
Guys,
Hope you can read it. Get
I
your glasses on.
I would definitely look at Noble Knights next week to make it at least closer with Desperado. If not, take the crown. You should definitely look at the new support and think about, depending on what you are playing, how you're going to get around it. Pelennor and King Cussinen
Yep.
are very good cards for the deck, and they're easily accessible even in a 30-card deck. So don't make that misunderstanding.
Yep.
So yeah, that's my assumption. Noble Knights next week, number 1.
Noble Knights. Yep, that's what it's all about right now. So Desperado, your days are numbered.
Yep.
No, I think Desperado will stay around, but they're not going to
Yeah,
be.
they will find
Not
a
by
way.
22 points. I don't think.
Of course, Necro Valley is also very effective against Noble Knights. Keep
Oh
that
my
in
God,
mind.
shuts it right down. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Noble Knights might have to adjust into the future too. So.
Mhm.
All right, guys, we're gonna get out of here. I hope you enjoyed the power rankings, as I always do. Make sure to get into the
I sure
Discord.
did too. This is the first Power Rankings in 2021.
That's right. Woo!
Woo! Thank you for staying with us through 2020. We ended 2020 on 6450 subscribers
Wow,
on YouTube. Yeah,
very good.
pretty nuts. And we are already climbing. So thank you guys for staying with us. 2021 is going to be lit.
Yes, it is. And you know how lit it is? You got to go on the Discord to find out. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's where we hold it.
join
The
the daily
Discord is free.
Discord.
The tournaments are free. The new player help is free. Everything is free. So get in there, enjoy it.
That's
Check
right.
out Kamel on Thursday mornings, Battle Phase of the Rising Sun. I'm on
Yep.
Saturday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, doing the new player stream. So we'll see you guys then. I'm Circus. That's Kamel.
Peace out.
All right. See ya.